Introduction. One day, my student sat me down and ordered me to write this book. They wanted people to be able to use our work to make their life better. It was something I wanted to do for a long time, but it became my number one priority. My work is part of a tradition in psychology that shows the power of people belief. These may be belief we are aware of or unaware of, but they strongly affect what we want and whether we succeed in getting it. This tradition also shows how changing people believe, even the simplest belief, can have profound effect. In this book, you learned how a simple belief about yourself, a belief we discovered in our research, guides a large part of your life. In fact, it permeates every part of your life. Much of what you think as as your personality actually grows out of this mindset. Much of what may be preventing you from fulfilling your potential grow out of it. No book has ever explained this mindset and shown people how to make use of it in their life. You'll certainly understand the greats in the science and arts, in support and in business, and the would have been. You'll understand your mate, your boss, your friend, your kids. You will see how to unleash your potential and your children. It is my privilege to share my findings with you. Besides count of people from my research, I've filled each chapter with stories both ripped from the headlines and based on my own life and experience. So you can see the mindset in action. In most cases, names and personal information have been changed to preserve anonymity. Some cases, several people have been condensed into one to make a clearer point, a number of the exchange and recreated from memory. And I have rendered them to the best of my ability at the end of each chapter and throughout the last chapter. I show you ways to apply the lesson, ways to recognize the mindset. This is guiding your life to understand how it works and to change it if you wish. A little note about grammar. I knew it and I love it, but I haven't always followed it. In this book, I start sentence with ands and birds. I end sentence with prepositions. I use the plural. They are in contexts that record the singular he or she. I've done this for informality and immediacy. I hope that the sticklers will forgive me. A little note on this updated edition. I felt it with important to add new information to some of the chapters. I added our new study I added our new study on organizational mindset to chapter 5 business. Yes, a whole organization can have a mindset. I added a new section on false growth mindset, chapter 7 parents, teachers, and coaches. After I learned about the new creative ways people were interpreting and implementing the growth mindset, not always accurately, and I added the journey to a true growth mindset to chapter 8 changing mindset because many people have asked for more information on how to take that journey. I hope these updates are helpful. I like to take this chance to thank all of the people who made my research and this book possible. My students have made my research career a complete joy. I hope they have learned as much from me as I've learned from them. I also like to thank the organization that supported our research, the William T. Grant Foundation, the National Science Foundation, the Department for Education, the National Institute of Mental Health, the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development, the Spencer Foundation, and the Rakes Foundation. People at Random House have been the most encouraging team I could wish for. Webster Jones, Daniel Maneker, Tom Perry, and most of all, Caroline Sutton and Jennifer Harshly, my editor. Your excitement about my book and your great suggestions have made all the difference. I thank my super agent, Gales Ederson, as well as Heidi Grant for putting me in touch with him. Thanks to all the people who gave me input and feedback, but a special thanks to Polly Solomon, Richard Dweck, and Marian Fishkin for their extensive and insightful comment. Finally, I thank my husband, David, for the love and enthusiasm that gave my life an extra dimension. His support throughout this project was extraordinary. My work has been about growth and it has helped foster my own growth. It is my wish that it will do the same for you. Chapter 1, The Mindset. When I was a young researcher, just starting out, something happened that changed my life. I was obsessed with understanding how people cope with failures, and I decided to study it by watching how students grapple with hard problems. So I brought children one at a time to a room in their school, made them comfortable, and then give them a series of puzzles to solve. The first one were fairly easy, but the next one were hard. As the student granted perspire and told, I watched their strategy and probe what they were thinking and feeling. I expected difference among children in how they cope with difficulty, but I saw something I ever expected. Comforted with the hard puzzle, one 10-year-old boy pulled up this chair, rubbed his hands together, smacked his lips, and carried out. I love a challenge. Another swiping away on this puzzles look up with a pleased expressions and said with authority, you know, I was hoping that this would be informative. What's wrong with them? I wondered. I always thought you cope with failure or you didn't cope with failure. I never thought anyone loved failure. Were these alien children or were they on to something? Everyone has a role model, someone who pointed the way at a critical moment in their life. These children were my role model. They obviously knew something I didn't, and I was determined to figure it out to understand the kind of mindset that could turn a failure into a gift. What did they know? They knew that human qualities such as intellectual skills could be cultivated, and that's what they were doing, getting smarter. Not only were they discouraged by failure, they didn't even think they were falling, they thought they were learning. I, on the other hand, thought human qualities were curved in stones. You were smart or you weren't, and failure meant you weren't. It was the simple if you could arrange success and avoid failures at all costs, you could stay smart. Struggle, mistakes, perseverance were just not part of this picture. Whether human qualities are things that can be cultivated or things that are curves in stone is an old issue. What these beliefs means for you is a new one. What are the consequences of thinking that your intelligence or personality is something you can develop as opposed to something that is fixed, deep-seated traits? Let's first look it into the age-old fiercely vague debate about human nature and then return to the questions of what these beliefs means for you.